It is being eaten alive from the inside of its own skin. Thousands of parasites, one helpless giant. This hippopotamus cannot scratch what it cannot reach. It cannot outrun what lives on its own body. And in the murky water around it, something is about to change everything, though right now, it looks like nothing at all. 3 weeks earlier, the infestation begins quietly. A handful of parasites clinging to soft skin behind the ears, along the folds of the neck, deep inside the nostrils. The hippo tries to fight back the only way it knows how. It rolls in the mud, coating its body in a thick gray armor. It submerges for minutes at a time, hoping the water will wash the invaders away. It rubs against rocks, against fallen logs, against the rough bark of a riverside tree. None of it works. Mud dries and cracks. Water offers only temporary relief, and parasites, unlike predators, cannot be scared off with size or strength. By the time 3 weeks have passed, the numbers have multiplied. Hundreds, then thousands. The hippo's skin, usually thick and resilient, grows raw in places most animals would never think to check. Not far downstream, in a quieter pool shaded by acacia branches, a different kind of life is underway. Small fish move together in loose, drifting schools, cichlids, no longer than a human hand, built for patience rather than power. These fish spend their days doing something remarkable, though almost no one is watching. They cling, not out of kindness, not out of instinct to help, but because the parasites clinging to larger animals are to them simply food. For generations, cichlids in this river have learned where the hippos gather to rest during the hottest hours of the day. They have learned the shallow pools, the slow eddies, the places where enormous bodies stay still long enough to approach. Today, one of these fish drifts closer to the struggling hippo than usual. It does not attack, it does not flee. It simply waits, hovering just beyond reach, reading the massive animal's stillness. Then slowly, it moves in. This is the moment 3 weeks of suffering has been building toward, though the hippo does not know it yet. The first touch is barely a touch at all. A fish no bigger than a hand brushes against skin that has been irritated for days, and instead of flinching, instead of thrashing the way it would at a predator, the hippo goes still. It is a strange kind of trust, built not on affection, but on need. More fish begin to arrive. Word, in whatever way fish understand such things, seems to travel fast in these waters. Within minutes, a dozen cichlids surround the hippo's massive body, working in loose formation. They begin along the neck folds first, where parasites cluster thickest. Small mouths pick at the skin with quick, precise movements, not biting the hippo itself, but the parasites feeding on it. The sound, if you listen closely, is almost nothing, a faint clicking, a soft disturbance in the water. The hippo tilts its head slightly, exposing more of the sensitive skin beneath its jaw. It is, in its own way, cooperating. The fish move to the ears next, then along the folds of the belly where the animal cannot see and has never been able to reach. Every few seconds, a fish darts in, plucks something free and retreats, only to return moments later for more. This is not a quick fix. It is slow, methodical, a process that will take the better part of an hour. Then, without warning, everything stops. A ripple moves across the pool's surface, wrong, sharp, unnatural. A crocodile, drawn by the gathering of fish, drifts into the shallows from deeper water. The cichlids scatter instantly, vanishing into shadow and reed. The hippo, sensing the shift, raises its head and lets out a low, guttural warning, a sound that carries across the water and through the reeds beyond. For nearly a full minute, nothing moves. Then the crocodile, weighing its odds against an animal many times its size, turns and slips silently back into the deep. Slowly, the pool settles again. And one by one, the fish return. The cleaning resumes exactly where it left off, as though the interruption had never happened. There is no hesitation this time, no rebuilding of trust. The bond, it seems, was never broken, only paused. The fish continue their work along the hippo's back, its legs, the tough skin around its eyes. Each parasite removed is small, insignificant on its own, but multiplied by hundreds, the difference becomes impossible to ignore. By the time the sun shifts overhead, the frantic edge that once defined the hippo's movements has softened. It no longer thrashes in the mud out of desperation. It no longer rubs itself raw against the riverbank. Instead, it rests, low in the water, eyes half closed, body finally still in a way it has not been in weeks. The skin along its neck, once inflamed and cracked, shows the first quiet signs of healing. Not perfect, not immediate, but changed. The fish, having taken what they need, begin to drift away in twos and threes, back toward the shaded pool where they started. There is no farewell, no acknowledgement. Only the quiet return to two separate lives that, for one afternoon, became one shared struggle. What happened in this pool was not friendship, and it was not sacrifice. It was something older than both, a balance struck between two animals with nothing in common except a mutual need. The hippo needed relief it could not give itself. The fish needed food they could not find alone. Neither would call the other a friend, but in the water, for one long afternoon, they needed no such word. This is not a story about kindness in nature. Nature rarely deals in kindness. It is a story about balance, the quiet, unspoken agreements that keep entire ecosystems standing long after the animals within them have gone still. Not predator and prey, not even friend and friend. Just two lives, briefly aligned, each one a little better off for having crossed the other's path. If nature's hidden partnerships fascinate you as much as they fascinate us, hit subscribe. There are more wild stories like this one still waiting beneath the surface.